Hi, I am Raghwesh Ranjan and I lead social and economic empowerment practice at IB Global. Today, in few minutes, I am going to talk about my observations on the Union Budget 17-18. I see this budget quite promising for the social sector in toto. When I say social sector, it implies rural development, agriculture, allied activities, women empowerment, women and child development all together. In snapshot, what the budget offers for these particular sector, in highlights, it could be that the total allocation for the rural development, agriculture and allied sectors has gone up by 24% in comparison to the last year allocations. Further, the allocations to women and children-based programs, which cuts across several ministries of the Government of India, saw an increase in allocation from 1.56 lakh crores to 1.84 lakh crore in this union budget. Specifically highlighting the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, there has been up in allocation of about 8,000 crores, whereas in rural sector, specifically for the housing for all, it has gone up from 15,000 crores in 2016-17 to 23,000 crores in 17-18, which is this budget. Well, there has been some shortcomings in the budget also. Specifically, the allocations has remained stagnant for the education sector, which is not very encouraging. However, for the National Health Mission, there has been escalation in the budget allocations by 20%. Post demonetization, we were expecting that the finance minister will definitely look at improving domestic consumption, specifically in rural areas. And from that perspective, increased allocation to MGNREGS is a very welcome step by the Honorable Finance Minister. We saw an allocation of about 48,000 crores this fiscal year, which is probably the highest ever allocation under MGNREGS. We also anticipate that during the year, when the revised estimates come, this allocation will move up through the complementary budgets being allocated to MGNREGS, like we saw in the last year. We jacked up the allocation of 38,000 crores approximately to about 47,500 crores during the last fiscal year. Now, there are certain things which the government plans to do, which is continuation of what we see from the outcome-based budgeting. One interesting thing that we notice is the government is planning to roll out outcome-based budgeting across the ministries with specific allocation of the monitoring and evaluation functions to Niti Aayog. Now, here is a window of opportunity for the government to design innovative mechanisms which foster proper tracking and monitoring of various rural development programs run by several other ministries of the Government of India, which also takes care of women and child development, agriculture and allied activities. Now we will be very happy to see how does Niti Aayog frame mechanisms to track such kind of outcomes and report it back to the citizen as well as to the Government of India and the Prime Minister's office. Now, there are certain things which are promising but simultaneously challenging. We will be very keen to observe that the geotagging exercise which the Ministry of Rural Development is taking forward, specifically for NREGA assets, how does such geotagging is also made available to the other line departments for convergent planning. Say for example, if NREGA infrastructure is to be dovetailed with the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana or converged with minor irrigation programs, how does geotagging help both the ministries plan their efforts together? Second part of it is the convergence has always been challenging for the government system because most of the departments at the state level and the ministries at the central level, despite having a very strong take on convergent planning, convergent action and convergent evaluation, still operates in silos. One thing which again I would like to highlight towards the end of my take on the budget is The maternity benefit scheme which the Prime Minister announced has seen additional allocation or jacked up allocation of about 2,700 crores. In my opinion, considering the target groups which is there across the country, I strongly feel that the Prime Minister's office and also the Finance Minister should look at scaling up or jacking up this budgetary allocation in the revised estimates, because 2,700 crores will just not be enough to cover the pregnant and lactating women whose wage losses and also their nutritional requirements are to be met during the pregnancy and the lactation cycle. I sincerely hope that the Government of India will take cognizance of it and will improve the revised estimates from the current allocations. This is all I have to say, but at the end, I definitely welcome the Government of India and the Finance Minister's interest and also the commitment to the development sector programs, and this budget gives a lot of insight and the way of thinking of the current government and their commitment to development sector in total. Thank you very much.